Hello and welcome to Monday Night ParaSlam. Unfortunately, Trisha's not available tonight, so I've just brought Paul from Wales Paranormal Seekers on instead.
Hey guys.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. You?
Cool. Yeah, not too bad, Tar. Little bit warm, but unfortunately I'm wearing a green t-shirt, so if I try and put this on, can you see?
Yeah. That's cool. You should do that one. Like, just dress up in it and just see your head.
Sit,
a floating head.
There you go.
I gotta go one of these.
Worst case, the worst thing you can ever do on a live stream with a green screen is decide to go down the routes of wearing a green t-shirt. So, how you been keeping with all these TikToks?
Don't even before this lockdown started. Charlie loves it. Ever since I've been with her, she absolutely loves TikToks. It drives me nuts. It's just because you're scrolling through it all day, every day, and you just hear the same music, the same things, and I don't know. And then you get people like Charlie who start recording you when you don't even know you're doing it.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
And we all know how that one went.
That's very true. Very true. So, just saying hello to, she's down as Lace Legends, but that's Leanne, my friend Leanne. And we've got Drew as well, also live. He's on as well.
Hey, Leanne. Hey, Drew.
Leanne's been a naughty girl on Facebook, so she's banned at the moment for another 24 hours. So she's having to go through YouTube.
Here's the TikTok queen we were just on about.
Hello. Don't worry, I'm not doing any more this with on an Easter egg tonight. You've been having some more fun then with it, Charlie?
Pardon?
You've been having some more fun with TikTok today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She never stops on it.
So, obviously, ParaSlam, what we do is we come on and we have a chinwag with regards to equipment and things and bits and pieces that we're not keen on in the paranormal world, with exception of groups and people, because obviously we all know where that can go. So
we do one about that one night.
Say again?
Can we do one about that one night? That'd be good.
I don't know how well that would go down. There we go. Change my background there. Look, there we go. So, obviously, what sort of things do you find when you're out and about? What sort of equipment and things do you see that you're not a fan of?
Now, probably K2 meters. That's probably my biggest one, especially on public events.
Yeah.
Or if someone's live streaming, even if they're a couple of meters away. K2 meters, I'm putting mine up for sale anyway. So if anyone wants it, they are really good. But no, honestly, they just don't do it for me anymore. I mean, I've seen a couple of good instances a few years ago without one, but I just don't use it. I just don't use it at all because we mainly live stream and we're in places that it can be contaminated. So that's probably my main hated one at the moment.
Yeah. Of course, the biggest problem with K2 is with your live stream, especially, it does affect it. I've seen people say to me before that it doesn't affect it anymore. We've been right up 50 centimeters away from the K2, and it doesn't affect it. But what they don't realize is that your phone picks up, your phone or your tablet will pick up try always to
get a signal.
Yeah. So every 15 minutes, usually it's always trying to pick up a signal.
If someone turned around to me and said, we've put our phone next to a K2 meter, whether live streaming or not live streaming, and the K2 doesn't flash, I'll probably turn around and say it's fake.
Yeah.
Going on my own personal experiences, every single time we've had a phone, it doesn't even have to be next to it. If someone's left their phone on, it's still going to come through. Yeah.
One of the biggest issues I've always had with them is, exactly that with regards to that. But a lot of people don't. It's an understanding of equipment. With every bit of equipment, it's an understanding of it, and knowing that a K2 picks up on a different frequency of electromagnetic fields than other EMF meters. And that some will pick up easier than others.
Yeah, exactly.
So
even straight EMF.
Say again.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. And even straight EMF.
Yeah.
You know, just randomly. So unless it's going off continuously to the questions and you're in a field and all your phones are off, then to me it can just easily be debunked.
Yeah, it's very, very easy. I mean, you just have to turn it on its side slightly and it will flickers as well. So just want to say hi to Roddy Woodman from Churchdown Paranormal. We have my friend Leanne. She's saying the K2 meters are a nightmare. We went Dudley Zoo and was highly contaminated. And then we have Amanda Louise on as well. Yeah, it's one of the things. I mean, obviously, I've got a couple of K2s now. I lost my K2, but I've bought two replacements. I've put sound on the one. The other one, unfortunately, I can't put sound on at all. And one of the things that I've got them to dot around, but one of the things I do is I tend to now use my other style of EMF meters rather because they're not as susceptible. Have you tried any
ones with the needle?
I've got one of the ones with the needle on it. Yeah, that one picks up on a natural EMF, so that's a tri-field meter.
Yeah, that's
and then I've got one of those, and then on top of that, I've got one of the small black ones, which the screen on it will light up green and flash red if it when it goes off.
Yeah.
And then I've also got one as well, which will tell us whether it's Wi-Fi signal it's picking up or whether it's phone signal or what type of EMF it's picking up, which is really good.
That's handy. I've never seen them.
Yeah, it's not a cheap thing, and it does sound an alarm when it goes off as well. So it gives you a better idea of what type of EMF it's picking up and the frequencies of it. You know,
that's so you can debunk it that way then as well. Do you
certainly can, yeah. I've also found in comparison myself with the other ones with this black one I use. So you can see them online. They're black and blue. Some are just plain black. But with that one, I've had it go off on command before while I've been on live streams, and the whole live stream it's not been going off. So you can tell it's in that respect, but it's still trying to get that get it to work on command thing, thing, So
it's like the normal K2s, the one that we use. I've only ever seen them go off a couple of times. You think, okay, that could be spirit, and that's responded to our question. But then it doesn't happen again. So that's when I just put that down to stray EMF. But like I said, it's probably only been about 2 or 3 times that we've had ours going off in the middle of nowhere with phones off or no phone signal. Well, phone's off, but we know there's no phone signal anyway. And it's going off on command. So whether or not it was just a coincidence and it was just the timing of the questions, I do not know. But yeah, that's its own time for me. But to me, like I said, I'm narrowing down my equipment now anyway, because like I said, Martel's got pretty much it all. I'm just sticking to myself, a torch, and one of my spirit boxes, and that's it.
That's it. So just a quick hi, say hello before we bring on our other co-host for the night. So we're saying hi to Charlotte Taylor. She has a question directly for you there, Paul. What is the best communication equipment? I'll bring Martel on before we answer that one, though.
Okay.
Danny Walker, hello. How you doing? Kerry Stevens, hi. How are you doing? Ghost Hunters Northern, thanks for joining us. Drew is saying, where is my JD? Lol. Ghost Hunters Northern, thank you for sharing. Hi, Katie Dryden. Thanks for coming on again. And let's bring on Martel and say hello. Can everybody say hello to Martel?
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not bad.
Cool. Right, let's have a little look. So, hi, Jay Howell as well. This is Jay here. Jay was actually the one who built this lovely box at the back here for me.
Ah, right. That's cool,
so,
yeah.
Jay's the one who took the other one apart for me, so we won't go into that one tonight, though. That's always a fun conversation, isn't it? That one. So right, we'll bring up this question from Charlotte Taylor again. Now we've brought Martel in, and then what we'll do this question, and then we'll talk a bit about what you guys do as well.
Okay.
So, Charlotte's asking what the best communication equipment is.
First of all, I'm going to say yourself. Where you don't have to be a medium or a sensitive. Personally, I think it's yourself. Because you're going to know your own feelings, etc. You can sense things regardless. That's what I think. Secondly, it's all down to personal choice. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love using a spirit box, and I also love using a voice recorder. But again, which we'll probably discuss later on, they can be 99.9999999% debunked anyway. So equipment-wise, for me personally, I would probably say the spirit box, only because of what we've had on our investigations previously.
And yourself, Martel? Any other bits?
I say spirit box. I quite like the spirit box. We like you said, they can be a lot of pareidolia with spirit boxes, but there's been a lot of times where we've had straight answers that you could tell that weren't.
They were clear, weren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And they've been quite interesting. Like the one you always bring up with.
I was just about to say that we had on our page the other night, wasn't it? This is Lawrence.
Yeah.
You mean
that was an amazing thing. We didn't have it on camera. I couldn't believe we didn't have that on camera.
And that's when the best things happen.
Yeah.
That's it. It's always, but that's the thing you see, and a lot of other groups don't do, especially these live streamers. They don't tend to go back over the footage afterwards. And I've always found that when I've gone back over, I mean, Leanne, who's on, when we did Dudley Zoo, for example, when I went back through that footage afterwards, there was loads more on there than there was that we found.
That's what I always do. When I start editing my videos and that, you tend to find a lot of responses that you didn't hear live, like when you were listening to it. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's
what happened in Andrew's house as well, didn't it?
Yeah, and that farmhouse. Remember what the one that said that he's been murderer? That was a bit funky.
Yeah.
That one was.
It's like, it's like, it's like EVPs, like recording. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's probably my second favourite. I mean, well, Martha, I'm trying to think. The church up in Cairo, literally middle of the night, about 12 o'clock at night. It's on top of the hill. There's no one about, and we were with Cairo Paranormal, and there's meant to be a haunting of. Well, it's meant to say a haunting. It's a strong word. But it's meant to be a spirit.
I know the church you're on about. Yeah.
Called the ruins, isn't it?
Yeah.
Called Emily.
Big hill.
Yes, sir.
You love that hill, don't you? If you go onto our page, like years ago, I did put all the EVPs into its own playlist, and there's one on there. Emily, that was the one little girl. So I started speaking. I started going, Emily, if you're here, darling, or something like that. Just before I finished, no word of a lie, you can hear a little girl go, I'm here, Paul, I think, something like that. It was so clear. Yeah. The second best EVP for me is probably in my ex's house, and it was just me, her, and a mum. This is up in West Wales now, so it was like overlooking farms. Again, there's no one else in the house. There's no one else around. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was watching the two people in question. We all had our eyes open. My ex said something. I said something like, this is all on our page as well. You need to go to the light. And when we played the recording back, you just hear some woman go, there are 3 goblins on you. Now, I know, anyone can say, oh, well, there's no camera footage to go by here. It could be someone speaking to it, but, that's up to people if they want to believe it or not. But
well, that's it. That's the thing with every bit of evidence you put forward. There's always going to be somebody who's going to put, not believe it in some way. So let me just.
There's never going to be any proof.
Oh, there's never going to be any definitive proof, is there?
They were the proofs to me personally, because I know for a fact no one spoke, and it was that was.
Oh no, but evidence-wise, there's no real proof that it's happened, even though we know it isn't fake or anything like that. We know it has happened, but there are people out there that's going to say, "Oh no, that haven't happened."
Well, that's the reason why we put them up, is because that was what personal to us.
Yeah.
It's paranormal, like, so that's probably my best favorite piece of equipment for communication, apart from myself. Then I would say.
Is that like that instance with the chair in the spirit house?
Yeah.
That is unbelievable footage. For me, that was unbelievable footage. And people were saying, "Oh no, he's moving his leg." I was like, "No, you can clearly not see it, but it's up to you. If you don't believe it, don't worry." I was there.
Yeah, that is it.
You've ever been there, Dan?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm from not that far from Evesham.
Yeah,
so,
true.
I know that area very, very well. I've done Spiritus once or twice before. Yeah. Tiny place, expensive to get in. Expensive.
Well,
doing it anymore.
Not doing it anymore, are they?
No, but I know that it's a very small shop, and they wanted 350 quid to hire it for the night.
Yeah.
So, and you only had access to 3 rooms, so it wasn't massive. It wasn't a massive place. So just going back to a few things being said on the list. So I'll just say hello to Gemma Bradfield, hello Tony Smith Turner, hello Claire Hall. Where are we? We've got hello Jane Chu and Trish Gill come on and she said, hi Dan, I'm back again. I enjoyed last night. Thank you. Hi everybody else.
Hey.
So just swing back up here a minute. We got Leanne's come on. She says, Dan, when we was at Dudley Zoo, that room we was in where there was so much electricity, it was useless. Now, when we were there, we were in the main canteen area, and the canteen area itself was just full of EMF all around. You had a bar for one thing. You had drinks machines. You had drinks cabinets. And it was just EMF everywhere. And
problem with EMF as well. If there's too much EMF in a supposedly haunted place, it gives you headaches, hallucination.
That's what they call it's what they call a fear cage, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
you end up with a hypersensitivity to it. But I think thinking back to it, actually, I think that the room Leanne was talking about was at Dudley Zoo. I don't know if you guys have ever been there.
Myself, no.
At Dudley Zoo, there's one section where it's small animals like gerbils and mice and things, and you go in there, and there was a generator in the section next door to it, so it was just setting the equipment off completely to the point where
generators give off massive EMF.
That's it.
But even you can have all lights and everything in you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like fridges and freezers and stuff like that, anything with big generators like that.
Anything at all like that. Yeah. So I mean, we had. The problem we had was that even down to my portal device was making a humming noise as a result.
Yeah,
so it was causing that much. But that can bring on the sense of the feeling of dread and headaches and pins and needles in your hands and the goosebumps you get on your arms and things like that as well. So then where are we? So we've got Jay has said, A Conjured Souls Paranormal. I believe EVP recordings are the most undeniable evidence, providing there is 100% proof that no one else is speaking at the time the evidence is captured.
That's if no one else has moved as well. Or long as you're all stood still and there's nothing in the background. And
one of the biggest things I found though is that, which I found big problem with EVPs is that where a lot of groups use these Sonys and the Olympus ones, the Sonys especially, some groups have a habit of slowing down the gain, I think it is on there, reducing the speed on there on the voice recorder itself, so it's picking up more in the background, and then it runs the risk of turning in being very similar to what those Panasonic ones, the DR60.
The frequency down.
The ones that it's the devil screaming at you and all that.
That's it, exactly. So, but EVPs are good. I mean, I'm really bad with regards to EVPs, and I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you boys see it as well, but one of the biggest bugbears to do with EVPs,
I know what he's going to say,
the fact that when people are doing, when some people are doing, I've seen going to do an EVP, they actually say we're doing an EVP. It's not. We're going to be doing an EVP session.
What an EVP is.
It's like we're doing an EVP. Well, no, you're
doing a recording.
Trying to capture an EVP on your voice recorder.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Sometimes I've got into the habit. Like when we first started, I was always going, right, we're going to do a recording now. And it has been a few instances where I'll hold my hands up, automatic. I've gone, right, come on. Normally it's Martel, shut up, we're doing an EVP. Because he used to be a nightmare for them. We go, Martel, we're doing a recording. Yeah, no problem. Goes in the bag. Starts drinking. Like,
so yeah,
all he does
go
is
back on it.
Something.
every single possible noise there is sitting there. Yeah. So right, we got Leanne back on. She says, we went to a church and her daughter Ellie got a message someone from the spirit box. It was amazing. The week before we went to the same place and got the same information from previous people. So yeah, I mean, that night we did get some good bits on there, and some of the stuff that was coming through I mean, if anybody wants to go and watch those videos that I've gone through and edited it, obviously, and highlighted anything that was picked up on there, they're on my YouTube channel at the moment. But yeah, spirit boxes. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, we'll touch on what Martel was saying a bit earlier on with regards to pareidolia. What a lot of people don't realise is that there's not just visual pareidolia, there's audio pareidolia.
Of course it is, yeah.
And you know, we see all these pictures and video. I mean, I touched on it with Lee Smart actually the other day. He had a big rant on Facebook early part of last year about photos and things that people are putting on and videos that people are putting on. You get all these all these people going on going. Can
you see that in the background? Or
say again, sorry.
Is like people saying, "Oh, can you see that in the background?"
That's it. And then automatically they're seeing demons and they're seeing God knows how many faces and things like this. But it's the same with voice recordings. You find that you know, it's not just the people's understandings of the fact of it itself. It's what they're hearing. You know, what we hear. So with a picture, people automatically see a face, or they see God knows that. I watched one. Screenshots is the biggest problem for pareidolia.
I was just about to interrupt then, not naming any particular teams, but just, you know what grinds my gears? And you go, put screenshots of tonight's live in the comments. Why?
That's it. But I think that's there's a lot of groups do that, you see, and you know, not to I don't want to get onto groups obviously and things like that. No,
I'm not trying to slag them off. I just don't get it. It's like
what it is with regards to screenshots. It's that pareidolia again. Yeah. And the problem what people don't realise is that I saw one, and I'm not joking. I saw one person, they actually posted 82 screenshots, and each one of them had, I think, somewhere in the region of about 7 or 8 red circles in there on them of things. You imagine 82 screenshots with 7 or 8 red circles on. How many spirits are in this place?
Problem is as well with screenshot when it pixelates.
That's it.
And you look, and it does look like there's something there, but it's just a pixelation. It's like pixelation distortion.
But why
that reminds you of an old team leader, doesn't it, Martel? A team member.
But let's just touch on why that is. What again, it's an understanding, I think, isn't it? Where people don't seem to understand, you know, visual pareidolia. When you take a photo in low light settings, the camera automatically slows the shutter speed. They slow the shutter speed, and they basically the camera then obviously is letting as much light in, as trying to let more and more lighting, but as a result it then means you get a more pixelated picture, or you end up with a color wisp in the picture, or you know, things like that. And automatically then you've got people going, oh yes, I see 12 faces in that, or I see a face in your window, and things like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's a massive bug.
I made the mistake before. I took a photo of a window on the second floor in the lighthouse inn. You know, and it looked like there was a face appearing through the window. I went, oh, there's a face there. There's a face there. And then I realised what happened. There's like a lamp on the windowsill. There's basically shone a reflection into the window and made it look like a fish. And I was
that's even though we might call ourselves or some people call us investigators. I use the term ghost hunter because that's what I am. I'm not an investigator, but what you've done there is proper investigative. You've gone and looked to see what it is, and that's one of the other things that a lot of people don't do. I'm just going back to the chat at the moment. Charlotte that says, fabulous, thank you very much. Ghost Hunters Northern saying he likes apps, things like Appy Droid. Appy Droid do the Paratech. We'll get onto apps and that in a little while. Where are we? So hi Susan, hi Shelley. Ghost Hunters Northern saying Castle Keep in Newcastle upon Tyne and Norham Castle, Northumberland. It was one of his favourite places. Yet to go up that high at all though. John Willits is saying there's more activity in Dudley Castle in the Keep. Unfortunately, the night we went there, myself and Leanne went there, we were it was really rubbish weather outside, so we couldn't really stay up on the Keep for very long. But people were seeing figures up on the keep itself, and then on top of that, it's like Cardiff Castle. You go there, and a lot of people see things up in that keep, up on the keep, and that, don't they? But
I'm not sure. I've never been in a day.
Have you not been there? Have you not been there?
It's
a lovely place.
I've done an invest in like on a public one.
Yeah.
You said never again.
yeah. It wasn't my cup of tea, that place.
It's very minimal access.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with Cardiff Castle. You don't have much access. Where are we? So Tony Smith Turner says, "I loved Shepton Mallet Prison. Absolutely brilliant place. Shepton Mallet.
I want to do a prison.
But
you don't want to do one. I want to do one.
Say again.
What did you say then, Paul? You want to do one? I don't want to do one.
I said I want to do a prison.
No, I want to do one as well.
Yeah, so it's the high. You've got to book on a private event on an event with an events group, or unless you've got
willing to spend silly money on it.
Kerry Stevens says, "I hate Gloucester Prison. That place turns my stomach." Obviously, I grew up near it, so I'm so used to that place itself. I've never been in there though.
What, for an investor generally?
Never been there in either way. I used to work around the outside of it a lot, but always on the outside of it, never on the inside. Thank God. I'm a good boy. Come on. So let's have a little look. Where are we? So again, Leanne, with another one she's just bringing up with regards to we did Boughton Church in near Northampton. And when we were there, we had numerous things happen, but we had the EMF going off on command, which was brilliant. That was, but it was very strange. It was in the one area mainly, and then when we moved it to another area, literally probably about 8 feet away, it was minimal in comparison. So it was obviously very strong in that one area, but it was literally going off on command.
Because that's what makes me think as well. Like, if, like, for example, when we've gone to like the Skirrid, for example, or anywhere, doesn't have to be location, and you have 2 K2 meters or 2 devices or REM pods, and we think that we might be speaking to a spirit or an entity, whatever you want to call it. Yet this, K2 meters going nuts and going on reds. You've tried debunking it, you can't debunk it. Then you ask them, okay, only have I ever seen this happen once in the 4 years I've been doing this. Is okay, can you go and set that device off, and then the REM pod will either go off or not go off. I've only ever once. I swear I've only ever seen that happen.
Yeah,
that's
that
what makes me think.
In Laramie Hall with the REM pod. Have you been to Laramie Hall, Dan?
I haven't. No. But I have got a little story which is very similar to what Paul's just said.
Yeah. Well, I was on the top floor in what they call the crow's nest in there, and we were all sat around a table. I had the REM pod on a table, and it started going off randomly. I was like, okay, that's a bit odd. And then it stopped, and then all of a sudden I started asking out questions, and it kept coming on every time I was asking a question. And someone actually thought that I was actually. Well, not me, but one of the others. She thought he had a remote or something, and he was clicking a remote while it was going on. She was like, "Are you clicking a remote over there?" He was like, "No, I'm not doing anything. It was my REM pod." I don't. In fact, there was nothing there. That's how mad the responses were. They thought it was fake. It was crazy. I never had seen that happen before.
While you're chatting, I'm just doing a few shares here a minute.
So,
but with regards to something very similar to what you were talking about there a minute ago, Paul, I did Tewkesbury Museum, and one of the things with Tewkesbury Museum was I had a REM pod upstairs, and we were all downstairs at the time. Lovely place, Tewkesbury Museum, very old building, very very old building, and as we went down in the one room downstairs and flicked the light switch, my REM pod goes off upstairs. And it's the first and only time my REM pod's ever gone off on investigation. So we looked around, we went upstairs, called out a few times, blah, blah, blah. And then we thought, right, go and check the light switch downstairs. The only thing we did differently. So one of the girls went downstairs, flicked the light switch, and there it goes off. Said, wiring is one thing that can really sort of cause an issue with REM pod, you know.
The only thing I thought that would set one off is those what are they called?
Teslas.
The balls.
Yeah, no, I mean it's electric, isn't it? At the end of the day,
you want about the oh god,
Tesla balls, isn't it?
Plasma ball.
Plasma balls. Tesla.
Tesla.
I have a Tesla coil.
The electricity probes with lightning.
That's it. You mean
similar, but not.
You mean one of them?
That's it. One of them. Yeah. That's it. We put one of them. We had a REM pod on my Mel REM on in the Skirid before, and someone put that on, and everything just went mental. Didn't you remember that?
Do you remember when we had the Skirid as well? We done it with Kyra. We had the walkie-talkies. We stayed downstairs. They went upstairs.
Walkie-talkies set them off as well. Yeah.
Walkie-talkies set them off. When we done that private invest with the Ouija brothers up in Louth, we thought we were getting responses on Martel's Mel REM.
Oh yeah.
And we found out then it was the TV that was on, even though the TV was on standby.
Yeah.
It's obviously coming off the screen, so
that's it. Some TVs as well. I know it's my TV downstairs. You see, I sometimes hear it click on and off, and it's kind of like it's because it's still got power going into it when it's in a standby mode, you know. So yeah, I've had that habit before.
I saw the red button always stays on for a while.
Sorry?
When you turn the TV off, the red button stays on for a while.
Oh yes, yeah. There's always excess power in.
Yeah.
That's it. So Roddy Woodman said, Churchdown Paranormal. I live near Gloucester Prison. Been in there, but never for invest. I'm open. I know what Roddy's like, but I'm open. It's not for anyone. You know, because I know when they closed it down, I think it was 2013 they closed it down. When they closed it down, they were... say again?
Is it that recent? It was 2013.
Yeah. Most of these prisons, they closed down 2013. Oh. When they closed it down, since it was completely empty for a period of time, and then all of a sudden they started to because there was talks that somebody was going to buy it, and Little Dean Jail in the Forest Dean, the owner there, he was talking about buying it as well. And one of the things that they did after a while was they started doing tours around the place. So they did open days, and people would go in and have a walk around and have a little look at the place and see what it was like. But I know that reported in there was in that building itself, one of the reports was of a woman who used to go down. She used to supposedly walk down one of the hallways, and she would, you know, like when they rattle the cup against the bars.
Yeah.
And people would hear that, and because it was a female going down there, obviously it would wind up the inmates a bit, you know. It was straight down the men's corridor. That's one of the things that's been. But that itself, the whole structure, Gloucester Prison, was built around an old fort in the middle. The main building in the middle was part of the old fort. Right on there, because it's literally right next to the water and right next to the docks.
We've got loads going on there then.
That's it. Absolutely loads going on. So just going back to the chat very quickly. Tony Smith Turner says she hasn't been to Gloucester. She says about Shepton Mallet. Kerry Stevens says, I've had some awesome experiences at Jamaica Inn. Not while.
Hey, Kerry.
Yes, I know Kerry very well. Then
she was telling us about them actually when we had done the Skirid the other month.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Jamaica Inn.
Oh well, Jamaica Inn. The biggest problem with Jamaica Inn is just that it has a team that runs everything there. So yeah, and it's a very expensive building to hire as well. So
they're changing everything around it now, aren't they?
I have no clue. I'll be honest. I don't tend to take much notice of the Jamaica Inn, but it's only because of the cost to get in to do it. Really, nothing else. Where are we? So. Tony Smith Turner, she's just come on saying Lost Souls UK is a very newish group and would love to explore a lot more with the group. In February, they went to Codnor Cottages. I missed that and was ill, as I was ill. Obviously, Codnor is one of the ones that a few people have done. I don't think they're doing it anymore though. There, I was told, but
I one myself.
Not sure.
I've never heard of that.
But anyway, so we're moving on to other bits of equipment then. Any other ones any other bits and pieces that frustrate the hell out of you?
Martel, you go with yours, because I can have a little think.
I'm thinking as well. Battery loss does my head in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but then the equipment's the. I know Martell's is apps.
Yeah.
But can you really class it as an equipment? I don't know.
I don't think with apps.
I'm assuming that Martell's frustration with apps is probably going to be very much the same as Trisha's, because when Trisha is on, when she was on with me last week, normally Trisha would be on, but that's the aim, is to have Trisha on with me, see, because she's quite good to slate equipment. We all know what Trisha's like, but
slate.
that's it. So one of the things she hates is apps. She's not a fan of them whatsoever. I'm one of these who I'll work with them a little bit, see what happens,
just see how you go. Yeah,
see how you go, and go from there. And if I think one of them's a load of pants, I'll say it's a load of pants, and then we'll never use it again.
Well, there you go. Then that's probably my then. I would, even though I've never physically used one myself or owned one, an Ovilus.
Oh yes, yeah.
Like I said, I've never used one.
Same as the app. Ovilus is very similar to the app.
Yeah, that's like that Paratech thing. I mean, each and everyone to their own. I've downloaded Paratech a while ago. I tried it and I was just messing about, testing it out. And I was having a vape at the same time. This is in our old house. So I was just turned it on and then it went vape. I went, what the? But again,
there's a massive difference between an Ovilus and phone apps, though. Phone app is designed to use the bits and pieces there, the equipment that's in the phone itself.
Yeah.
Whereas, obviously, the Ovilus itself, there's
just a word bank, isn't it?
Say again?
It's just a word bank, isn't it?
Not necessarily.
There's a couple of settings on there.
You have numerous different setups on it. So you have on the Ovilus 3, which is the main one that people want, the one that some people are trying to sell for like
stupid money,
£1,000 on eBay and stuff. With the Ovilus 3, you have dictionary mode. So obviously that fires out random words. It's a random word generator. You have phonetic mode, which fires out sounds, and the aim is to try and get the sounds will come through, and Spirit will utilize those sounds to make a word. But that brings us back to the audio pareidolia.
Yeah,
it has a reverse phonetic mode, so it's firing out the phonemes backwards. So it shouldn't be able to put together words. So if it does, it's a good possibility. It has a question and answer mode where the idea is you ask a question and potentially an answer then comes up on the screen, things like that. I've only ever had any good bits and pieces from an Ovilus in phonetic mode. I never use it on Q&A or any of the others. And the other one it has a heat sensor on top, so it has hot and cold sensor on.
I've seen that one, yeah.
Yeah,
which works on my REM pod, that have on my mail REM.
Yeah. Oh, you've got. You're on about the on your mail REM. You've got the little. I can't think what it's called now. But you've got a little aerial that pokes out at the top.
The little antenna in you.
Little antenna.
No, that's the temperature aerial. That is. There's a mode which you switch on, and basically it goes cold if there's a cold spot, and it goes red if there's a hot spot. Basically, if it says a hot spot.
That's cool.
How long have you had that and you've never used it?
It makes a weird noise all the time. That's why it goes constantly.
That's the noise it makes. That's it when it picks up a temperature change.
That's it. Yeah. So you're like, I hate that noise, so I never.
So tell you what, you have
on the side of your mail REM. There's a little black button you see, and when it's doing that, you press the black button and it resets the temperature. So to that point. So
yeah. I just leave it off now because it just goes off constantly all the time.
Try it again, like Dan just said. Then try and set it. Then when it goes off, set it to that temperature. Then
the button does reset it, but then it goes off.
It will go off. It will continually go
every
off
time it's changed.
Every time a temperature change. Yeah, because that's the thing you see is a lot of this equipment was never actually designed to use for paranormal use. For paranormal detection of sorts. But again, it's knowing your equipment, isn't it? That's the thing.
Of course it is, yeah.
It's knowing your equipment. I mean, I talk about it all the time, but I talk about things like, when we talk about trigger objects, people set up trigger objects, i.e., things like cat balls or flash objects and things like that. I mean, you can't see it's behind the green screen. A lot of drawers behind me, and I had in one of the drawers, I had different things, which you could put down like a little football and things like that. Those sorts of things are a bit different. You draw a circle around them and see if they move.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's mean it's old school investigating, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like back to basics, and that's what I think. You know, it's all well and good using technology, but like I said, you can't rely on it.
No.
You know, 100%.
But again, it's about testing it and trialing it, and it's a theory base on it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, right. So where are we? So Ghost Hunters Norman said about Spirit likes to drain batteries.
So I mentioned just now.
Exactly, Roddy Woodman. That's the trouble with most places. The price, and plus he doesn't trust everyone there because he doesn't know them when it comes to events. That's the other side of things. You see, is when you're out and about, you've got to have an air of trust with the people you're with. If you don't, you will just, you can't necessarily have a proper investigation of sorts. No. Can you?
The trouble with public events, not trying to slag them off, because I say we go to one, is you get the odd couple of people, and again, this is nothing against these people who go to public events. If you get one who's watched a couple of episodes of Most Haunted, or they've been to one or two events, and they know everything. No one knows everything, No, even the top medium in the world doesn't know everything. Fact. Then you get people who carry on going to events, and they're like, no, this is, unless it's something daft and obviously can be explained. But that's the thing with events, because everyone's all hyped and all excited about going there. 9 out of 10 times, everything's paranormal.
Yeah.
And like I said, 9 out of 10 times, because they've been to a couple, or they watch teams on YouTube, or all the rubbish on main telly, people think they know everything. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's
the other thing about public events is that the people who don't go to a lot of them, or don't know, or they've gone for their first time, they watch the TV and think, oh, that's bad. That isn't. Oh, I want to experience this, and then they go to an event and nothing happens.
Oh, this is boring. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this is boring. Well, you never. If you go to a genuine one,
that's the difference between an event and a ghost hunt, isn't it?
Yeah.
What we do is totally different to what an events company is there to do. Because an events company is there to ultimately give the person an experience,
satisfaction, and to come back.
That's it, and that's why they jump on Ouija boards and things like that.
Yeah.
And just to give that customer the experience as such, where we're there. We're quite happy knowing we're going to a place to stand in a couple of buildings for 6 hours,
and something might not, and nothing might happen.
Yeah.
So
that's the only thing that does mind about like some of the people who run the events. Like, not saying they're not all like it, but then you get people who do it all the time, and they're like, "Oh my god, that K2's gone off. Oh my god, that's happened." I've done it a couple of times, and I've gone, right, look, there's K2. Boom, there's a wire in the wall. You're in a haunted pub.
But again, that brings us back to the understanding of the equipment, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
event companies, they should be telling people and not giving it all.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's something here. No, it's not. It's the alarm.
We'll just quickly say hello to Mary Goss, who's in the chat. Before I ask the question Brian's put up, I'm just going to read this one out. Tony Smith Turner said, I set my camera up in the hanging room in Shepton Mallet prison. Within 10 minutes, my battery was totally drained. Put new batteries in, and it all switched off. Sometimes that could be
times.
Yeah, numerous times. Mary Goss has brought up another one, which I'll bring up in a moment as well. Andrea Williams-Pater said, best place she's been so far is the Savoy Theatre in Monmouth. Love the Savoy. Chris, who runs the place himself, is a lovely bloke, and he does wonders for the place itself. A lot of people don't realise about the activity there, though. It's very much linked to the church that's behind it. And a lot of people don't realise why it's so active. There's the churchyard itself was flooded at one point in time, and a lot of the bones from the bodies actually came to the surface.
Yeah.
You've got restless souls in the area. Plus, there's direct links from that church to Lantern Secunda Manor as well. So those links there are all tied in then with the Savoy Theatre as well. So you get a lot of that energy that's there. Plus, it's right next to a load of running water, which is great. So that all adds to it.
I went there. I've done the Savoy once.
Is that the one I went to with you?
No, that was Memo.
That was Memo. That's the one.
Yeah. The Savoy, and to be honest, we got hardly anything there.
Yeah.
Although
wouldn't mind doing that one.
So, I'm not saying it's not active, but at the time when I went there, I don't think anything happened, to be honest. But,
that's the thing, though, isn't it? It's like, you can go to one place one day, nothing will happen. You can go to 10 days later, and you just got to keep
that's the thing.
back.
I'd never say it's not active because I've only been there once. I'd have to go there a few times to see. Well, Paranormal, for instance, I've done that about 3 times. Yeah, 3 times now. The first 2, hardly any evidence, like hardly anything happened to me, or I got hardly any evidence. The third time, to me was quite active. I got quite a bit there, to be honest. So it depends when you go there. So,
but I also think it doesn't just depend on the venue as well. It sometimes depends on who you're with.
Yeah.
So if you've got people, if you've got good people around you at the time, and the energies are good, obviously it fuels it as well and helps it out. So just what I'd say, oi, I'm sort of listening in amongst the screaming baby. Trisha's
hey Trisha, hope she's okay now.
I thought she would be in the chat, but because she's got obviously dealing with a baby as well, her granddaughter, she's not able to come on live tonight. So just going back to the other things first, very, very quickly, about equipment. Mary Goss, she's talking about flashlights. One of the biggest things that came out of the Ghost Hunters TV shows originally was they used to do the flashlight test with the mag lights.
They used to unscrew it slightly, didn't they, or something?
That was it. They'd unscrew it to the point
and then it would go on and off on command.
It. But easily was debunked because as the metal is, because mag lights are made of spun out aluminium, so obviously as it potentially contracts and expands, it, causes it just to touch slightly, so you get that flash or it comes on.
But definitely have a flashlight because it does stop you from falling over in the dark.
There is that probably the best
so
tool. Definitely use the
flashlight. Paul knows that a lot.
unless your batteries run out.
That's that.
Yeah.
That's probably, apart from carry a torch, that's probably the best rule of paranormal investigating is always have backup batteries.
Always have backups. Yeah, I never have a backup for my torch. Got backups for everything else, but my torch I haven't. I should get another one, really.
So we've got a question from Brian. He's put, what is your most memorable paranormal experience? I think what we're going to say here is what is your most memorable and what is your worst, because it's ParaSlam.
Yeah. Again, it's one of these questions. It's like, what's your favorite location? There's been so many. I could probably be here for an hour going through them, but this is probably what you just said, Dan. This is probably my most memorable and my most worst in one go. Right. Basically, cut a long story short, 2:00 in the morning. Sorry, my CV's just going off on its own. 2:00 in the morning in my old flat, I just heard a proper massive rustling. It was my knives and forks in the drainer that have been there for the whole day, no windows open. One of my chef cooking knives, basically massive rattle, smash on the floor. Went out in the kitchen. I know for a fact they got picked up out of my drainer and smashed on my floor. And they're pretty heavy, proper knives, that scared the shit out of me.
I was going to say, I forgot about that one, but I was going to say I thought it might have been the Priory. Remember when you did that Priory one on your own when I was waiting in the car?
Which one? Martin in the car going like this.
No. He had to. Well, we thought basically he had to do it on his own.
I had to go back and do it on my own.
Yeah.
What?
But when you were there, you were saying it felt bad, when you were there.
Yeah, but then that goes back to certain other locations. You could feel eerie. You could don't get me wrong. If someone or something is close to me, I can feel it, and sometimes it's not nice. But like I said, it could be here all night speaking about that. But
I think the worst for me was that castle.
Oh, wait, the one in Bridgend.
Yeah, when I looked through the cage
you tell everyone then, yeah.
Yeah, basically we were what's it called? Quinton's Castle.
Quinton.
In Bridgend. Cowbridge, is it? Cowbridge or Bridgend? I can't remember now.
Same horse, different jockey.
Yeah. Around that area. And it's not really a castle anymore, is it? It's just the front of a castle.
Yeah.
But the archway for the castle's still there, and as you go in, there's like a room on the right and a room on the left. But in the night they're gated up. There's these gates closed, locked them up. So we put some equipment along the gate, and we were asking questions. K2 was going off, but that could have been anything.
You will get to the point in a minute, guys. Don't worry.
But he goes. You said you thought you seen something, didn't you?
Yeah, I seen like a mist.
You see that in there? Then I went, what? So I put my head in the cage, like in the thing. But yeah, and what looked like a bloody, and it was like a silhouette of a woman with long hair just came right towards my face, just rushed right at me, and I went, Jesus Christ! And I just legged it.
He didn't leg it. He done a backwards Scooby-Doo walk. He was like a backwards moonwalk. He was like,
hey, that's the thing, though, is, I mean, you know, Martel's got a woman coming right at him. I mean, and he runs away. So, just going back to the chat a minute. So, Roddy says, that's why I don't do events. I prefer to go invest on our own, lol. But I have been to GPIS events, but I've got to know them boys. So yeah, Gloucester Paranormal Investigation Services, they're two lads from there. Absolutely great guys, Ed and Pete. Awesome guys. As Pete, I didn't know them at the time when I was back in Gloucester and, you know, investigating myself. Andrea Williams Pate. So a quick one from her. I got to ask some questions in Welsh and we got more responses. So that's one of the things is, most people sort of think that if you talk to a lot of mediums and that, they tend to say that spirit will understand, you know, different languages and things. So if you went to France, for example, you could speak in English. Sorry, but you could speak in English, for example, but it wouldn't matter. But
funnily enough, we had a weird encounter in. Remember the Woods by St. Fagans?
No.
You had to get it through Ely. You had to get it. Remember the Ely Woods?
Oh shit! Yeah. When we did the French one, when I picked up a name. Yeah. And what's the name? The medium on the chat said, "Yeah, that's it." And then it was all.
We started getting French coming through the spirit box.
Yeah.
And I started saying some French phrases and we were getting answers back.
Yeah.
And it was odd because there was no French frequency that on the radio in that area.
Marcel,
and we were by Ely as well, and most people can only just speak English down there.
But we all know Paul's version of French.
Which I've been told to not speak French tonight.
That's it.
I've done good so far, nearly an hour, and I've only said one swear word.
I know, it's been good. So Trisha also says, before I just do the other one, sorry, actually, very quickly, Amanda Louise says, oh my God, yeah, that happened in my house. All the cutlery from the drainer was thrown all over the kitchen. So it's something that very much happens in some others as well. Trisha comes up saying, remember you in chat writing down in Welsh and me trying to speak it to communicate. I should be ashamed not able to speak Welsh. She does speak Welsh though. She's a Valles girl. I'll be honest with you. Well, I can't understand what she says because of her accent. So I'm sure it's Welsh half the time. So Libby Connolly is asking, are spirits more active at the day or do they make an appearance? Are spirits more active in the night or do they make an appearance in the day?
Doesn't matter when.
We've had stuff happen in the day. I mean, I think the majority of the time that you do it in the night because of the atmosphere, it's dark and it's quieter. Which makes
in the night, your senses are heightened.
That's it. But then on top of it brings us back to equipment then and the cameras because theory is that spirit lives somewhere between infrared and ultraviolet.
Yeah.
So, you know, hence why we do it at night, mainly because of the infrared lighting.
But we've had a lot of activity in the day, no matter what's on time of the day. It's quite interesting.
That's it. That's it. That's it. It's a lot of it is theory based, isn't it? You know, it's the same as every bit of equipment. It's all theory based.
You're right about cameras though. Evidence wise, you don't get much on camera. But when it comes to like EVPs, or like you're listening out for noises and stuff like that, you get a lot in the day as well as the night.
Yeah, you just got to take your surroundings into consideration.
The other side of it as well is there's less activity outside in the day. Oh, sorry,
take your surroundings into consideration.
So you're less likely to get noise from towns or cities or roads and things. Very quickly, Trish has just come up saying no spirits are more active at night is because daily traffic slows down and night is quieter. We become more aware of our surroundings and able to take away some of the noise contamination. Bloody hell, Trisha, I thought you were listening in, not like so I'm writing paragraphs here. Well, the paragraphs are getting bigger and we can't see Martel. During the daytime, we're so busy we do not take much notice. That's the thing, you see. So Katie Dryland says, love these stories. Thank you, Katie. Ghost Hunters Northern. My worst was the house I went to. The priest was leaving as I got out of my car. He was in a hurry. Generally, because anytime I've ever had it where I've been to somewhere where a priest has been involved beforehand, it's not necessarily made anything better.
Make it worse.
One story not long back where the young girl contacted me with regards to a doll that she found in her attic, and her little one had started talking about this doll in the attic, and her little one had never been in the attic. So they went up there and they found this old marionette doll. And the priest turned up and, believe it or not, burnt the doll. The doll. I spoke to a very high, well-known medium of a friend of mine, and she said to me, it's more to do with what people would class in the field as witchcraft. So it should be dealt with under that side of things rather than. But the priest then turned around and he actually took it outside and burnt it in her back garden. And since then, she had a load of activity happening continually afterwards. So. It's whether it helps or not. I think a lot of it is more up here in that respect. Whether with regards to it's no different to any of the other things that we have. A lot of people see things in pictures, they hear things on audio, but then their belief system is different. They believe a Ouija board actually communicates with spirit, but then they believe that we're communicating with spirit as well in other ways. But some people will say your EVPs are rubbish, but they're really interested in orbs, for example. Do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of it is what is up here, as well as it's a belief system.
Yeah, that's like going back to the Ouija board. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love using the Ouija board, but again, it's like you were on about earlier. It's the understanding of equipment. To me, it's a wooden board with letters on it. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe you've got to open them up. You've got to close them down. It's another form of what could be used as potential communication.
Oh, it's no different to that.
No, exactly. Well, that's what they call spirit boxes now, isn't it? Well, all they are is radios, but
even that, you see,
the new Ouija board. Yeah.
Any item that we use, anything.
What is that ParaSlam bike? I was thinking of buying one of them.
Yeah, it's quite good. I mean, I've had it go off a few times. It's static, so the idea is it goes from one side in red. Bring up here above my name. In red, one side through to green on the other. So it goes red through orange, yellow, green, and through to green.
I've seen them in Twisted Paranormal. We're using them the other year.
I've seen a few investigators use it.
Lee sold me that.
Oh, was it? Ah.
But yeah,
I've seen that one.
if I turn it on, you see, if I can get it to light up in some way, but it's static that does it. So I'm not sure.
You're like a static bear then?
A little bit, yeah. But there you go. You see it as I turned it off. Then you can see it. Sometimes you see the lights flash. But so the idea is it can show a direction that it's going as well potentially. But they're all well and good. But again, it's affected by static. So there is that. So Andrea Williams answered Trisha. She said, "Yes, Trisha, remember it well. It was up in the church. We've got to meet up when this lockdown is over. And get a bit of FAE live going again." Libby Connolly's thanked us for response to us about her book that she wrote on screen. baby is quiet for 2 minutes, and then she's saying, "Oh yes." So only got a minute or so left, really, for tonight. So I don't know if you guys want to sort of just push out there what who your team is. We get Charlie to do a little, parade of the Wales Paranormal Seekers jacket in the background.
Yeah, Charlie's got hers on.
There we go.
Yeah, if no one knows of us, guys, we're Wales Paranormal Seekers. You can find us on here on Facebook under that name, and also over on YouTube. So, if anyone's interested in listening to some of them EVPs that we was on about earlier on, if you go onto our YouTube channel, go onto the playlists, and there should be a section there under EVPs.
You found a lot of interesting videos as well.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But again, it's you guys work in a slightly different way to some others do, and things like that as well. Yeah. So it's one of those where, again, very, it's interesting to work with different people.
And that's what I mean. Like, that's what's good about, don't get me wrong, the field does have, this community does have its ups and downs, and etc. But like I said, it's because most people you work in your own way. I mean, you can work similar. Don't get me wrong. But because, one team might do something a bit differently, another team will do something else, and, you kind of just like learn from each other, or you probably...
I know, whenever you see a live stream from you guys, all you see in the background is Charlie doing this.
Don't get started doing that on live.
She's recording a TikTok.
But that's nothing, going back to lives. And I think we're going to stop with the lives as well when we go out. We might do the odd ones because I just find I love doing the lives. I love speaking to the people, but it just takes you away at what you're doing, what you're there for. Like I said, we're not one of these ones doing it to get social media famous or anything. So I think we're going to go back to like when we first started and just recording, just letting the camera roll all night, and then just spend hours going through the footage.
Oh yeah, remember those days. It's bad enough going through live stream afterwards just to see what's what.
Yeah, but especially if it's a 2.5 hour one, it's like, oh really?
Oh well, yeah. But then when you've got 4 or 5 cameras running and you've got to go through each one of them as well, just to see what. I remember those. I always remember one time when I had my group originally, and I had the team around at my house. And I got them all sat there looking at footage. They'd all been given a brief of what to do, and I'm not joking. I had probably from one of the guys, I had about 20 pages of orbs.
Oh God!
And it got to that point where I was just like, I was looking back at the footage and I was thinking, I was going to the timestamp and I was like, what were you watching?
It was my nan. No, it wasn't. It was dust.
Yeah, that's it. So dust.
Yeah.
Anybody know
that's it, isn't it? So, right, guys, thank you very much for coming on.
That's right, no worries. Thanks for having us.
We'll obviously have a good chinwag, and we'll catch up soon, and no doubt anyway. And
meet up again after all this is sorted.
Exactly, and we always have a bit of that at Charlie's TikToks of Paul, because you obviously get on her nerves.
I just don't like, it's the same thing going, Bordinio's bored. Oh, look, someone else has done it. Bordinio's bored.
It.
Someone else has done it off.
The thing is with Paul now, he because of lockdown, he doesn't wear any clothes from the bottom down.
That's it.
He just
How the hell's this gone from TikTok to me not wearing anything? I haven't got shorts on.
What?
You can give you a TikTok.
That's it. So I'll have to.
You just walk around in your boxes.
I'll have to rename it.
Everyone for that TikTok video.
Yeah, that was.
I'll have to rename it from being Monday Night ParaSlam to Monday Night ParaSlam.
I know, innit? Well, just in my defence, I was after 11 cans of Strongbow.
That's the one. Any excuse, eh? Right, guys, thanks very much for coming on again. And if anybody wants to go over and visit the page Paul, Charlie and Martell are on, it's Wales Paranormal Seekers on Facebook, and on YouTube under the same Wales Paranormal Seekers.
Under the same,
Pop over, give them a like and a share, and have a butchers of what they do. Don't laugh too much, but
if you do, it's fine. It's up to you.
I mean, Charlie's TikToks.
over.
I have to be honest.
What does he call for?
Some of them are quite funny, so you know, it's worth having a look at, especially the ones with Paul in them. So
I only knew I was in one of them.
I saw one with you with a mohawk earlier or something.
Ah, yeah, it's just getting shaved off at some point. I don't know. I have to keep it and grow it out. But
experiment.
It's because I'm receiving too much, so I'm just going to shave it.
And dye it purple.
I know my hair is a total mess, man. I might shave mine off.
Oh, trust me, don't even think about mine. Mine's like literally needs a massive cut. I normally have mine done every 2 weeks, and you know.
Well, at least you can't do anything with that.
Hey, you talk about receding, yeah?
That's nothing.
Hey, look, there. I'm not. Mine's fine.
That's the thing, though, Paul. You haven't got all this though.
No, well, I did shave that because I just didn't like it when it was two thing, and then she went nuts. Yeah, grow it back. So I was like, I don't know. I'll just
right. Oh, Ghost Hunter Northern says chop it off.
I might do it. I might do it.
I was on the mohawk. I was going to say I might be chopping it off. Martel, go do a mohawk as well.
Yeah, do a mohawk.
Yeah.
Charlie's dad's doing it. Corey's doing it. Tyler, 4-year-old, he's going.
Yeah, I'll do it as long as you dye yours like a rainbow.
You got to do yours purple. There you go.
I'm not dying here. Keep going.
Hey, do it for charity for the NHS workers.
That's it. Okie dokie. I'll just say good night to everybody in the chat. Tony Smith Turner, thanks very much. Interesting night. Found a lot out. Kate Dryden says thank you guys and good night. Andrew Williams says thank you as well. Verity Andrews, hi. You're a bit late. We're just finishing up now, but thanks for joining us anyway. You can watch back. Be recorded on the stream and on YouTube. So thanks again, guys, for coming on, and I'll see you all soon.
Okay, cheers, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye.